worshiping, a concept learned after the fall, mankind, when they learned of sin and evil. The sacrifice, the worshiping, the altars, that someone came along and supposedly died and cleared them from the dead. So, encouraging them by example to revert back to an innocent state of being, a pure state of being before creation, before we learn of the sin and evil. So, do we really need to still worship anything? You see what I'm saying? Well, the names tied to these certain deities, if you digest them, reconstruct, deconstruct, you see these multiple beings tied to them. So, even though you worshiping them, are they getting the harvesting energy? Worshiping is like a harvesting energy system, being divided upon many. When you're worshiping in the church or in a congregation or group or gathering, are you really worshiping the deities? Are you sending that energy to them, or are you sending it to, or is it that energy being redirected to the ones leading the group, the congregation? And are they harvesting it to manifest their best lives or increase their probability to manifest into this realm what they're desiring? And does it trickle down from there? The harvest system, where others closer to the top bring others into the church to worship, and they're harvesting their energies, giving a portion of their energy to the leaders, and leaders giving the portion of that to the deities, if if they are requiring to do that, or if they're even doing it. I say this to the fact that we need to learn to evolve and to reclaim our power and to stop participating in the worshiping system. And now I know it's hard sometimes because you've made a habit of it. That's what they're hoping for. But you do it because it wasn't done until after the exposure of sin and evil. Before even the first creation, there was nothing. Nothing didn't need worshiping. It was just that is. And the first of the elements came about. The vastness. But it's all a lie because it wasn't there before. But once it came about, it was probably either air or water. It's debatable. But it makes sense, since science observes that water was made of hydrogen and oxygen, H2O. So, it's probably why some, think that wind was the first, but air was the first. But, like I said, debatable. But they try to associate everything to a deity. I guess it's a way to explain the world around us, its beings having a human experience, and to harvest energy of some sort, or pay tribute to a deity knowingly or unknowingly, or deities. That's why they use the word God as a general concept. You don't say God all you want to, but who are you praying tribute to when you say that? Or when you say any of their names? Because it could be tied to multiple beings. It's a very intricate system. Tricky at times. It's tricky. especially if you don't know. Well, I mean, like I said, ignorance and bliss, huh? So you just not knowing, but you're experiencing good to some extent. Even though the average person struggles to make the money, well, not to make money, maybe they don't struggle, but you know what I'm saying. When you're not associating yourself with deliberately worshiping or deliberately jumping into a religion, you neutral. I guess it's just food for thought. The concept, the worshiping system. The karma debt transferring or whatever, it could be that as well, possibly. But that's when you come across idol worshiping and all that pagan and stuff, and, idolizing other people and defending them. That's where that comes into play. So you just have to be careful about what where you who you attributing to. It's best to stay as neutral as possible. However, that's that with my own life, my own experiences. At one point, I was working and just doing my own thing. I didn't really have a deity or God necessarily to worship or go to church or any of that. Although I was raised on Christianity, I just never adapted it to my life, um, early part of my life. But I've learned a lot in this journey. And I started becoming more spiritual and then started researching doctrines, non-canon, canon, Hebrew, all that different stuff. And even though it caused me some things, I've learned a lot. Expounding my mind on how things operate in this world. But it's just time for me to just take a step back and reevaluate. I'm gonna tell you this in some morning. Like if you decide to adopt adapt a religion, just know what you're getting, all you're getting yourself into. Because when you start, the more you dive in, the more you get to realize it's a system, harvesting system. So I say it's better to just do it on your own. At least do your own research rather than being dependent on a group, going to a church, because you see how that rolls. But even with doing on your own research, it's once you introduce yourself to that stuff, it's like your life changes, and you got to just break free from it because it would if you ain't careful, it can take control over you, over your life. Like you find yourself. I don't know. I can only go on my experiences. Some people probably receive good fortune from it. I don't know how, but hey, it is what it is. But I'm gonna say it like this: every little thing to be. Just know, just do your research, and think, meditate on it. That's why a lot of people tend to. Some people tend to make material, technology, and money their gods, even when they don't realize, even when they say they're atheists or they don't believe it, they're making these objects, they're like their God because they worship it. They value it. It moves them to do things, motivates them to do things. So you really do have to like analyze how you operate in this realm. You worship it even when you don't think you are. So that's why certain wise men and women, holy men and women in Christ, you really didn't have anything. You detach as much as possible because these things have some kind of attachment onto them. You just don't know who are you paying tribute to sometimes. Um, and that's why I'm always advocating this. The more I realize, the more I learn, and the more I just know that it's just not good to birth anyone in there. It's just not good to birth anyone into existence, into this realm, just because of all the things you attach onto. Even that act is attached to a damn deity. That is crazy. Fertility, or somebody that associates to that act of procreation. It's governed by or many goddesses or gods. They want to associate themselves to fertility. So just how I know it's just an evil act. I don't think it's good because which in some cases may be the reason why certain people feel an uncontrollable urge to just do it, to force something into existence. You're taking it out the deities that did it first, so or whoever did it first, or beings. So that's why you don't, because you're helping them to keep y'all all in some form of a servitude. It's like a bondage. That's why I say bondage, and that's why the apostle said it's like a bondage. It's iniquity, it's bondage. It's you're literally stripping something from a place of boundlessness and freedom and you know peace into a different realm of uncertainties, whatever. So you see what I'm trying to get at. And then they have to decide what's deities or who they gonna pay tribute to, or if they don't believe in anything, they're still attached to money materials and stuff. Just living, making mistakes, learning from them, attaching to the good feeling of stimuli, like anyone else, like not anyone else, but other people. But you just have to really, really dig deep and know what this stuff really is. Look for the truth. You got to search for it. And now that I'm telling you the truth, and I'm hoping that you will analyze and see the truth for yourself. Do you still bring another into this world knowing that you're subjecting them to all this? Or will you pick the noble route and exercise your sovereign right and not birth another being into this realm? You have to see it for yourself. You really do. Do your research. If you want to worship something, know what you're worshiping.